Hi, we're back with Juana from Jali Creatives. So we were talking a little bit about what storytelling is. Okay. So when we talk about, talking explaining what a company does, like what your company does, what are some of the questions that you have for your clients on how to like work through that storyline? Because like let's say, I'm with an IT company. It's very hard for me to explain what we do. How would you like work me through the process?
Yeah, so I think what I would start with is asking you to tell me how you got into it. So it's very we conduct interviews when we're creating website copy and things like that with our clients, and tell us how you got started, tell us how you got into this. One of the things that I think really helps people identify what is unique about what they're doing is this is kind of my secret weapon. Is I ask people, what are you most proud of that you've done in your company? And then they just kind of, get excited, their eyes light up, they share. And then from that, we really pull out like what's unique about their approach, right? So there are a bazillion marketing companies, there are a bazillion IT companies, but there's a unique way that we do what we do. There's a unique way that you do what you do. And I think, that's really an important part of communicating your story. And yeah, so we ask questions. We may go off on a tangent. Sometimes it's all with a purpose. So it's not a true tangent, but sometimes I get into, childhood questions with
Yeah.
people. And a lot of times people have started their companies based on something that is rooted in their childhood. For example, for me, I've been writing short stories since I was a little kid, and now every day I write. So that's something that's kind of one part of it. But yeah, we really ask questions strategically that really get business owners to open up, and then from there we pull out a lot of really good things.
Awesome. And then so most of the viewers are going to be, you know, mostly younger adults right out of college, maybe still in high school. So what was your education? Like what was your plan when you started before you started doing Jolly Creatives?
So I went to Florida State, and I originally went there to be in journalism. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a print journalist. I wanted to be Ida B. Wells, and I wanted to write stories and exposés. And my path took me somewhere different. I ended up majoring in sociology, which was great. It was a lot of interesting things about the study of people and how we interact with one another, with government, et cetera. And from there, I just started working in administration at USF, and I did the things that I always do. I wrote the emails. I connected with the students in the program that I was an administrator for. I created the PowerPoints and the flyers when I would go out on the road to recruit new students. And so I just kind of found myself in that space, which ultimately led to building up a portfolio that made me feel really comfortable with opening a creative agency.
Yeah. So I mean, now things have changed a lot, and if you could have started at, let's say you were 18 years old again, how would have you done well, like how would you have done it different? Like what would your path be if you were 18 now? If we were all 18,
If I were 18 now, I think I still would have chosen to go to Florida State, but I would have tried to. I always say that I wish I would have understood the power of networking
Yeah.
more when I was younger. There's majority of my 20s I really didn't. I would go to work, I would go home, I would hang out with my friends. I wouldn't meet new people. I would work, friends, home, what. And so I think that that's one thing that I would really say to young people is when whether you're in college or whether you are figuring out life, whatever your path may be, to really leverage the opportunity to expand your network with people who are in things. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a career path that you're interested in. It could be a hobby that you're interested in, an idea, something that someone does that you're like, wow, that's so cool. I don't know if I'd even like to do that. I can talk to them more about it. And the younger you are, honestly, the more open people are to receiving those kinds of questions, that kind of wide-eyed wonder of just like, wow, how did you do this? Approaching people. Don't be afraid to approach people and ask them questions and ask them to tell you more about how they got into the
Yeah,
field that they're
I
in.
don't think people that are like younger understand that they have the opportunity to ask their elders, how they did it, what they're doing. And if they're open, people will help, you know. Um, i- Most of the youth doesn't tend to have that personality. They tend to be like, I know how to do everything, you know.
That's just youthfulness across the board, right? Yeah.
Was like that, yeah, probably like that. But, you know, having a mentor, having an internship plan, going through the process of what future endeavors you will be doing, it helps get you, it guides you through.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it brings you a little bit of stability a little sooner. I just think about friends that I know who had summer internships every summer when we were in college, and right out of the gate, I was looking for a job, and they were like, "I'm going to work here, and I'm going to be making, X amount of thousands of dollars a year." And I thought, "Oh wow, that's so cool." And I feel like I wish I would have set myself up a little bit more. And I think that networking, knowing professors, knowing mentors, knowing business leaders, is really helpful.
Not only that, and also knowing what you actually like, because right now marketing is so
Yeah.
immense. Like, what part of marketing?
Exactly.
You know, somebody when somebody in college says, "Oh, I'm going to be in marketing." Okay, what part? Do you want to be a website designer? Do you want to be
Are you into analytics? You want to just, look at the numbers all day, right? Because that's a huge part of marketing that a lot of people don't think about.
social media?
Yep.
Actual writing?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly, exactly.
there's so many parts of it that it's the doors are wide open, but you do need to know where you want to like start and where you want, your path to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.